Alright, so back in the days of the Wild Wild West, there was this Mexican bank robber. And actually when I say Mexican bank robber, I mean he was a bank robber from Mexico. Not that he robbed Mexican banks. As a matter of fact, he robbed U.S. banks exclusively. So he would cross the border, rob a U.S. bank, and then flee back across the Mexican border. And the banks obviously were upset at this. Not so much that he was from Mexico, because what mattered, what difference does it make once you've stolen the money where you were from, but that they were stealing the money, right? So so they put out a reward for this Mexican bank robber, and there was this young Texas Ranger, and he decided he was going to go after the reward. Now the reward was for this guy, dead or alive. It didn't matter. But there was an even bigger reward if you were able to return the money that he had stolen, right? So this ranger, he decides he's going to do some research on this guy, finds out where he lives, where his hometown is in Mexico, and he crosses the Rio Grande, finds his hometown, and he decides to check out the local cantina to see if maybe the guy is there. And sure enough, he goes into the local cantina and the guy's there. The only other people in the canteen at this time of day are the barkeep, and then there's this Mexican lawyer that's over in the corner. And the ranger comes in, guns blaring, and his guns out, and he says to the bank robber, he's like, "I've got you! Hands up! I'm taking you in!" And the Mexican bank robber just looks at him and doesn't do anything, right? And the ranger keeps telling him to give up and surrender, and Mexican bank robber is looking at him like, has no clue what the heck he's saying. And so the lawyer figures out pretty quick that obviously the Mexican bank robber doesn't speak English, and the ranger doesn't speak Spanish. So he stands up and says, "Hey, look, I think the problem is here you guys don't understand each other. I speak English and Spanish. I can translate for you." And he says the same thing in Spanish to the bank robber. And so the ranger goes, "Okay, that's fine. You tell him that he's got a reward on his head, dead or alive, and that if he doesn't tell me where the money is, I'm going to shoot him here, and I'm going to save myself the trouble of having to get him back across the border alive. I'll just kill him and take him back dead." And so the lawyer looks at him and starts saying all this sort of stuff in Spanish to the bank robber, and the bank robber's shaking his head like he understands, and finally he gets done, and the bank robber looks at the ranger, and he sees a cold, steely-eyed determination in his face, and he realizes this guy really means business. He's going to shoot him if he doesn't tell him where the money's at. So he immediately starts to say, "Hey, the money is buried in the fourth horse stall in a barn on the outside of town." And he gets done explaining all this sort of stuff to the lawyer, and the ranger looks at the lawyer and says, "What'd he say? What'd he say?" And the lawyer looks at him and says, "He said you ain't got the nerve to shoot him, you dang Yankee."